Hello, and welcome to the Soul Elevation Podcast, guiding your ascension to new heights. I'm your host, Kara Goodwin, and I'm recording this YouTube live on Friday, May 9th. So thanks so much for being here. I have a couple of things that I want to share today. We're going to start by talking about a powerful dream that I had this morning that to me delivered a lot of messages that are very relevant to my life, but also the time that we're in. And then I want that to lead into a discussion about the importance of discernment, particularly where we are in humanity, although, of course, discernment is always a very important part of our life. It's an important part of our life in every area, but particularly in our spiritual area, the spiritual aspect of life, because it's so critical and foundational to how the rest of our life plays out. Everything kind of flows from there. Everything starts at the energetic spiritual level, and then it affects the physical manifestation of our experience. So first, let's talk about this dream. So, right before I woke up this morning, well, not right before, but anyway, kind of early hours of the morning, I was dreaming that I was driving this car straight up a mountain, and it was icy, and it was an old automobile. It was like something that I had that was my family car in the 80s, like this Oldsmobile, just sedan, like nothing sleek about it, nothing advanced about it. It was very functional, but it was not like an off-roading type of vehicle with technology that could easily, it's not like what you see in the commercials these days where you've got this off-roading, like classic SUV, not classic, but like off-roading high-tech SUV that's like going over this rough terrain and it's built for something like that. This was like very functional, supposed to get you from point A to point B, but not meant for off-roading. And I'm on this icy mountain and I'm going up, and it was straight up. It was like a complete vertical, straight up thing. And I'm driving and I have other people in the car. I've got my daughter in the car. Um, Now I can't remember. Oh, I think my mom was in the car. And then there were at least two other people who I can't remember who were in the car, but I had precious cargo with me. And as I'm driving, I'm realizing like this is way too steep. And my car, like gravity, like I don't know that I'm even going to be able to stay attached to this mountain. And so the front of the car starts to tip away. Like I can feel that we're falling backwards because of gravity. And I said to everybody in the car, pray, pray. And everybody started praying, and the car righted itself and attached back to the mountain, and we were able to keep going up. And I have chills just recalling this, because that is such a powerful message that we can find ourselves at any point in our lives where we're out of our depth, or we don't know how we can physically keep going. We're up against an insurmountable challenge, and we can't go backwards. We don't know how to keep going forwards, and we're afraid that we're going to fall. And it can be easy to feel overwhelmed in that type of situation. And especially if we have people who are depending on us. A lot of us are not in a situation where we're, just freestyling it through our lives. And, not all of us are, most of us are not, living on a mountain by ourselves in a cave and just meditating all the time. We have families, we have people who are depending on us, and that may feel overwhelming. How do I keep going without toppling and taking these other people down with me? Um, So it's so important to remember that we have this instant access to support. We have it with us all the time. You have a divine team who is supporting you every step of the way. And I highly encourage you to connect with that support every day, even if you're not in a especially even, well, if you're at a critical junction in your life and you're feeling overwhelmed, absolutely lean on your team. If you're not in that type of situation, don't wait until you're in a dangerous situation or you're overwhelmed or you're at your last straw and you don't know what else to do. Build this relationship, forge this relationship regardless of where you are in your life. Don't wait until it's your last resort. But if you are in dire straits and you do feel like you don't have any options left, you have a divine team. You have access and are worthy to the access to spirit, to this divine help, to whatever, however you want to think of it, God, angels, archangels, ascended masters, your benevolent ancestors. They're there to support you. They're very, very real and they're right there with you. Reach out to them. Ask them for the help that you need. Hand your problems over to them and ask them for solutions and trust that the solutions will come. You may not get them in a lightning flash. It may not be like I ask and then suddenly I know exactly what to do. But you ask and you keep moving forward the best you can, and you listen and you act on the guidance that the universe brings forward. That may not be that somebody knocks on your door, that a stranger knocks on your door and they've got this etheric presence and you recognize that it's an angel or you recognize that something mysterious has happened and they just tell you what to do. It probably won't happen like that, but you'll get little messages as you move through your day, little inklings of ideas or paths forward that you can take in order to move forward. You have that support. So everybody has that support. Don't be stuck in some thought that's going to tell you that you're not worthy of that. You are worthy of that. You have that at your disposal. So utilize it, trust it, believe in it. That's going to amplify it. That's going to strengthen that connection. So that leads us into discernment. So discernment is so critical on your path. And I want to balance talking about you have this trust, you have this support, and you need to trust it and you need to act on it, and that's going to help you move through. Balance that with discernment. And as you move through and you navigate things from a spiritual perspective, you want to keep your discernment. You want to learn how to tune into your body, tune into your energy, tune into your intuition in order to understand if you're receiving the messages correctly, if it's true, authentic, for your highest good, or if you're misunderstanding something or if you're being manipulated. And it takes time to develop discernment. You might find yourself oscillating between thinking that everything is a sign and everything is guidance and everything that falls in front of your face is something you're supposed to pursue. And you might get burned by that because there might be some things that are thrown in there that are not actually for your highest good because you're wanting to sharpen your invitation is to sharpen your discernment, to really understand who it is that you are and navigate. And so it very well may be that not everything that shows up for you is actually for your highest good. And that's part of the life experience that we all go through is discerning and understanding and being able to feel, is this for my highest good? Is this trickery? Is this going to come back and bite me? Is this wishful thinking? So it's that's very critical. And you have the skills within you. You have the technology. Your human vessel has the technology to be able to pick up the signals because your higher self and your divine team, they do know what is for your highest good. They will send you signals. They will send you things that resonate within your body in certain ways that you can start to up on these clues. But again, it takes practice. So be patient with yourself. But I mean, I even write about this in my book. I have a book that came out recently, Your Authentic Awakening. And I talk about in chapter 9 cults, for example. That's one way that we can think that, we might get involved in a group and think that it's something for our highest good and that there's some, this is this quick accelerated path and I just have to do exactly what they say and I'm not going to question it because these are my guides and however much money they want me to send, however many, whatever I'm meant to do that makes me uncomfortable, it's all for my growth. And I found myself in that situation for a very short time a few years ago. And it was a huge learning for me because I really had just surrendered, which there is a part of spiritual living that is surrender. It is saying, okay, I'm going to let myself be led. Sometimes, I mean, oftentimes we want that to happen through our spirit guides. We want to surrender to God. We want to surrender to our higher self, not to another person. It's really, really hard for people to control their hunger for power. And that's just, when I just don't recommend completely surrendering to people. And again, like my cult experience was not severe. I was lucky that I was awakened to what was going on pretty quickly. But other people in that same organization were not so lucky because they had been in it for a lot longer and there was a lot more that they had undergone and had been taken from them. But anyway, it doesn't even have to be a cult. There are a lot of ways that we can give up our sovereignty, that we can give up our own liberation, that we can get distracted, that we can be pulled into something that's not true, that we can attach ourselves to something that's actually causing distortion within our field. Now, ultimately, those things can be for our highest good. They can be things that we overcome and we come out even stronger from them. That happens, that is a true rite of passage. But not everybody has to go through that. And I wouldn't wish for you to go through that. So discernment, and in this age of AI has exploded in the last 2 years. And I mean, if you think back to 2023, nobody knew what ChatGPT was. I mean, maybe those on the bleeding edge of technology knew what it was. But I mean, I remember just a year and a bit ago being like, what are people talking about? And it was like all of a sudden overnight, everybody was talking about it. And it's advancing really rapidly. And it can be this amazing tool for us. But that's another example of just because it's coming from ChatGPT doesn't mean it's the truth. We need to use, we continue, even if we're seeing it say something in black and white that we really hope is true, we still have this human technology. We still have this guidance system within us. We need to still use that. ChatGPT is not really a shortcut. It's still offering something that could or could not be true. And it's up to us to sharpen our skills of discernment, to understand whether this is information that we move forward with or not, whether it's something that we allow into our belief system or not, whether it's something that we allow to be true or not. I've had conversations with ChatGPT that oh, excuse me, I forgot to put myself on Do Not Disturb. Oh, no, I did. My daughter's overriding it. um, but I've asked chat questions and it's given me answers that I feel are very surface level. They're very mainstream. They're very by the, what the authorities want you to know. And as I keep having a conversation and keep questioning it, I'm getting refined answers. And it is shaping its answers in a way that starts to reflect my beliefs. Now, that's an interesting thing to keep in mind that and to play with and to make you also question like where are these answers coming from? Are they truth or are they malleable? So it's and I love Chat GPT, honestly. I love it. But I don't just take the first thing that it says, and say and run with it. It's really developing this, like, that doesn't seem quite true. Let's dive into this more. Tell me more about this. Can't this also be true? And see how things get shaped and what does that tell you also about the technology. I can't wait to explore this topic further in a workshop, not a workshop, a live stream that I'm having with Leo Mars on Thursday, May 15th. So next Thursday, I'll put a link to that in the show notes. This is a free live stream. Leo is a philosopher and a futurist, and I just actually interviewed him earlier this week, and I've got such a backlog with the podcast where I record things and then they don't come out for, months because I just have this huge backlog. And we had such a great conversation. We didn't even get to AI, and I was so looking forward to talking about it with him. And so I was like, let's just have a live stream. Let's just talk about this and release it right away. Um, you're going to want to hear from him. He has an amazing awakening story where he just was living this very materialistic life. He was like a nightclub owner, I think, like this young entrepreneur, like very much caught up in the mainstream. And then just while he was taking a shower, had this huge shift in consciousness, had an epiphany, and then it just kept going from there. And he like totally changed his life. And it's a fantastic story. But what we're really going to focus on in this podcast podcast live stream on Thursday is AI. So register for that because I'd love for you to come on the Zoom so that you can be a part of the energy as we're creating it, but also you may have questions that you want answers to around AI, around the expansion of consciousness, because it's not just about AI, it's AI in the context of consciousness evolution, human consciousness evolution. So there's that opportunity. And then there's also a workshop that I'm hosting on May 29th, Thursday, May 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern. We're going to talk about discernment, distortion, our energy fields being distorted, how they get distorted, why they're distorted, and what we can do about it. And not only will we get clear our energy fields during this, it's going to be, we'll have part of it where it's like this, where we're just kind of talking about the topic and learning. But the big part of the opportunity is the activating part. So it's the actually working with our energy, clearing things out, getting them aligned, getting ourselves aligned with our higher self, with our soul. Sorry, I'm bumping things here accidentally. And how can you continue to have the tools? What are tools that you can use as you move through your life and as you keep interacting with the external world, quote unquote, and your energy fields keep adjusting to what you're having exposure to, and you may have more blurring of the lines energetically, more distortion comes in, and you want to continue to have the tools to be able to get clarity. And when I say clarity, I mean literally at the energetic level where you sharpen up your energy fields and become stronger energetically and become clearer, be able to receive guidance more clearly, understand things more clearly from the spiritual, from the ultimate truth level. So you can find information on that on karagoodwin.com. And there's a energy reset workshop So I'll put the link to that too in the show notes when I wrap up here. But that's all for now. Thank you so, so much for being here. I wish you many, many blessings for the rest of the day, the days ahead, and